Afternoon YouTube. I just thought I'd do a bit of an update, excuse me. It's been a few weeks and I just wanted to show you, how much the garden can change in a few short weeks. So let's start at the patio. So I'm making sure I've got the sun behind me so I can get a good picture. There's Miss Ruby sunning herself. So as you can see, all the polyanthus and the pansies that I had around the front of the garden are taking off now. They're looking really good. So as the polyanthus are sort of dying down, the pansies are coming up, so that's good. They're not a permanent thing. This gets changed out every year to whatever I fancy. We're hoping to put zinnias in there this year, but we'll see. And as you can see, the patio planters they're looking great at the moment, but they are going past their best. I mean, they've done extremely well. They've been in there since last autumn. So, I certainly got my money's worth out of those. So I'm going to hang on as long as I can. I am watering them, but they are looking past their best. So maybe in a week or two I shall be changing those out. I've already got rid of some of the ones over there which were looking a bit, pansies sort of go, mouldy, after a while. They tend to get a bit of mould. You can spray them out, but they were finishing anyway, so I didn't bother. And these over here, I mean, I'm really, really pleased with them. They were relatively cheap plants and they've put on a fantastic display. So the black planters are really doing well. This little, I think it's called something penny. Can't quite remember what it's called, but this just goes mad, and that's self-seeded from last year. So it's starting to take over a little bit, so I just pull it out. If I don't want it there, I just rip it out. So they're doing very well. The whipping cherry has got its leaf now. Most of the flowers are gone, and I'm having to irrigate because we've had extremely dry winter. This tree's looking exceptional, just starting to come into flower, and it's got a lot of flowers on it this year, far more than it had the first couple of years. So, and my neighbour gave me that one, and I don't know the name. She's told me multiple times, and multiple times I forget. So it's late afternoon here, so it might be a bit dark in places, but I'm having to irrigate this area here because like I say, we've had an extremely dry winter, and this side of the garden stays quite wet, so I don't want to put all the irrigation on all the way along. I've got these standards because I don't want to water that side. I don't want to waste water, so I've got this stand-up standard, and it's not working very well at the moment. I think it's because I've got so many taps on. I'll get it sorted in a minute. It's not going around, so maybe I've got it locked in position. I'll just check it. What was wrong with it? I had 2 lots off the one tap. I forgot I put these drip lines on and I flooded it a little bit. Oh well, never mind. There you go. It's working much better now, and I'm right in the spray here, so I better move. So I've had a really good tidy up on this bank today. I've cut back numerous pencilmen. There was a huge patch of them there, and they were going very bald at the bottom and just the new shoots coming at the top. So I've given them all a trim back with the hope that they will grow up and be fresher this year. I broke one of the standards in the process, so my poor husband will have to, I actually slipped and fell into it, so my husband's going to have to fix that when he comes home. That's all he does. He runs around after me, fixing things, getting rid of all my rubbish. I've got 3 big wheelbarrows full of rubbish for him to deal with when he comes home from work. I'm sure you'll be more than happy about that. But when you live with a garden this size, unfortunately, that's what you have to deal with. You have to deal with masses of rubbish and garden waste, and it's just part of living where we live, and that's really good. And talking of where we live, I'm just going to wander around and I'm going to ramble because I find that very easy. But we actually sold the house. about a week ago, over a week ago in fact. No, it'll be a week ago coming up now. We didn't have it on the market. We were thinking of selling back in the winter, but I'll just explain the background of it for those of you who don't know. I was considerably overweight. You know, I've slowly put on a lot of weight since I've been in New Zealand, and I was considerably overweight, and to be honest with you, I really did struggle with the upkeep of the garden last year, and I felt, you know, it's time to move on. So we did look at moving on in the winter, and then I decided to lose some weight, so I went on a weight loss program, and I've done considerably well. I think I've 17.4 kilos so far. It's only been 13 weeks. I do have a channel around that weight loss, but out of the blue, so we sort of, you know, gave up on the idea of moving for a while. So I've just come from over there and I'm back over here, just to give you some orientation. Anyway, so we gave up on the idea of moving for a while, and you know, I've lost that weight and I'm finding the garden far more manageable now. I've still got a long way to go because I was quite a bit overweight, but you know, I'm getting there, and I will get there. I am determined to do it. So anyway, out of the blue, the weekend, a friend of ours came to visit, and he mentioned that one of his relatives was looking for a property in this area, and we sort of made a flippant remark like, oh well, they can have this one if they pay X amount of money. And anyway, before we knew it, they were coming up to look at the property that day, you know, very quick. It all happened so quick. John and I were just swept along with the tide of it all and the excitement of it all. And anyway, we agreed to sell to them, cutting a long story short. And we spent last weekend running around looking for properties. Now, the time frame that the buyers wanted was very, very tight. We would have had to go unconditional or exchange of contracts if you live in England on the 17th of this month, which meant, you know, you are locked in at that stage. And they wanted a settlement date, i.e. moving in date of the 29th of November. And we just sort of, you know, took a deep breath and agreed to that, and you know, did the necessary paperwork. And so then we spent the weekend running around as much as we could. I mean, we visited 13 houses that we, you know, had a look at, you know, houses that were suitable for us. Just a minute, I'm just going to go somewhere else. So I'm just going to go along the front of the pond area here. Anyway, so like I say, we looked at 13 houses that, you know, we thought were suitable for us, bearing in mind we got 3 dogs and a lot of stuff. You know, we live on what they call a lifestyle block, 10 acres of land, and that involves a lot of bits and pieces and stuff, albeit we could have sold quite a bit if we, you know, put our minds to it. And I'm, you know, the person that bought the house was keen to have some of our stuff, which was great, and would have made it a lot easier. Don't those marigolds look gorgeous? Do you know, I can barely see the yellow of them on the screen here, but they are really, really bright in the sun. Anyway, getting back to the story. So we ran around, looked at these houses, and there was nothing suitable. So, I mean, we were trying our very best to comply with the terms, and so we then started looking at rentals. And, you know, the rental option, there are rentals out there, of course there are, but there are not many rentals out there that will accept, you know, 3 dogs, basically, and have a reasonable sized garden that, you know, they can loll about in all day. I mean, they're used to this. You know, they're used to 10 acres of land, although they don't go very far. They normally stay around me, but that's besides the point. You know, I wanted plenty of space for them. They're used to it. So that was proving extremely difficult, getting a rental. So in the end, cutting a long story short, excuse me a minute, I'll just turn this watering off so I can walk around the back. There we go, sorry. So cutting a long story short, we had to pull out of the contract. You know, it was a sad thing to do. We realised that the people that were buying this house were quite upset, and we understand that. But fortunately for us, they were extremely understanding. They were fine about it. They totally understood the situation, and so we are not selling the house now. And to be honest with you, I'm probably relieved in a way, because I was getting so stressed last week about, not about the selling of the house and leaving the house behind. It was more around the logistics of it. It was starting to really, look at that camellia, it's gorgeous. Starting to really affect me. I was getting quite panicky at times about, you know, the amount of work that we would have to undertake to get out of here. And to be honest, the time parameters were so tight, I really doubted. I'm just going to go the other way so the sun's not in my eyes. So here we are. Sorry about that. It's very disjointed, this explanation, isn't it? So yeah, I started to get panicky and a little bit concerned about the time parameters. It was really going to be very tight. And, you know, in the end, I was actually relieved when we did pull out of the contract. And John and I discussed it, and we've decided that, you know, we will sell the house. We are going to sell the house. We're pushing 60. So I'm 3 years or 2.5 years off being 60, and my husband's just 1.5 years off being 60. So what we've decided now is we are going to stay here at least another year or two. If, you know, obviously we're in good health at the moment, and that's all well and good, and we're not forced to sell. But if, you know, we are, that's a whole different ball game. But basically, we're going to stay here for a bit longer, and we're going to get rid, my husband's promised me, he's going to clean up the land, and he's going to get rid of a lot of stuff, which, you know, he really does have to, because we got so much stuff we don't really need. You just, you know, when you live on something like this, you tend to collect rather than bin it. So, you know, I've ordered an extra bin collection, and he's going to go and get rid of a lot of stuff. So we'll do that, and then when we're ready, hopefully we'll be all organised here, and we will then, you know, market the house and put the house on the market, and we will sort of, you know, as much as we can, do it in our own time frame. So that's the story of my week. It was very stressful. So just come around the back again. So it was very stressful, but, you know, it was a learning curve. So we now know that you know, it's impossible. The time frames that were set out to us are virtually impossible for us to, which was like 8 weeks for us to do the task. So lessons learned, just, you know, be a bit careful about what you say and think it through first, and then obviously, you know, just get it organised a bit better than what we did. And so yeah, so now we're staying here. I feel so much happier today. I've worked in the garden for like 2 days solid. I've catching up with jobs that I didn't get done the weekend, so a lot of you know, a lot of work around here. We're slowly having the woods removed. That was another thing, the woods down here. I'll just quickly pan around. You can see it through the netting. That's our other piece of land down there, and you can see a lot of the woods are being removed. The guys coming in this week with massive machinery to take a lot of that out, and they're going to really get onto it and flatten it, and then we can have a paddock. You know, and that's going to enhance the property and make things look far better than what they do now. And, you know, once we get it all sorted, that'll be great. Oh, great, my hostas are coming up. Big ones. These are the extra large ones. There should be 3 in here. Oh, there's the other one. Oh, that's fantastic. They weren't very big last year, so I'm hoping with this extra light, can you see it coming in on the side here? albeit it's late afternoon, that's fine. With this extra light, this bed now should actually take off and grow a lot better. We're taking out, as you can see, all these great piles of logs. These trees here, 3 rows of trees, we're taking out up to the start of the drive up here. I'll go around there actually and explain to you, because I've never really shown you our woods or what we got going on down there. I'm excited to get it finished. Back to this, so this is looking great. I've got a lovely brunner there coming up. Some great ferns, some great woodland violets. So this area is already taking off so much better with that, just that little bit of extra light. It makes all the difference. Although a lot of these plants are woodland style, they still will be in shade in the morning. It's just that in the afternoon they will get a lot more light. And I've just watered here. I'm having to water because like I say, it's so dry. So let's go round. So you can see all the trees down in the distance. So here's our drive leaving the property. So we're leaving all these trees that you see that are full, because that, you know, for me, when you drive down onto the property, the trees either side, like you're driving in the woods, was absolutely what we loved about the place. But from this area here, so where this first pile of logs are, you can see, if I get it up there, can you see that tree has been topped? And I think this one's been topped. So those top trees right down, you see they've been taken out so far. Some of these ones that are leaning have been left to my neighbour, because the chap who's been doing it is not, you know, he's a bit worried about taking out fencing and stuff. But they will be done this year, or this season, and they'll come out right down to the bottom. And then this will be the firewood for friends, and, you know, us and whoever's willing to come and cut their own wood, we're more than happy to give it to them. But from now on, the cleanup has to be done. In the past, people have come and taken wood from down here, and they've left the cleanup to us, which is just not on. You know, I'm giving them free wood, so they do need to start cleaning up after themselves. So that's what's going to happen this year. So this is the neighbour's property down here. So we're going to keep, if you see the trees over here, we're going to keep about 10 rows. Although there's not 10 rows here, there is 10 rows up at that end, and there is 10 rows down at that end, but there's only a few rows at this end. So if you imagine it's going to go along like that, and then it's going to do a little round bit like that and along, and then that whole area will be paddock further down. So that'll be great. We will be able to have some grazing animals then. Not that we're going to eat them, but, you know, we can have some cows and graze them. You know, you bring them on your paddocks and you sell them on, you know, when they're big enough. So you grow a cow basically, or sheep, and that's what we'll be doing. So that's the plan. These trees, I may well have these topped, because they do shade the patio a little bit, but that is all in time. I mean, I will have to get a specialist crew out to do that. That's not going to be a, you know, a quick fix, and it will be, you know, I mean, there's, what is there? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, about 10 of them. So, you know, I could have those topped, and that will give me more light on the patio in the afternoons. But believe me, you welcome that shade on the patio in the afternoons, especially in the summer here, because it gets really, really hot, and come the afternoon, you're just, you know, you want to come out in the garden and you know, do what you got to do, and to have that shade on the patio in late afternoon, well, early, it's evening actually, it's not, in the summer it's evening, it's quite welcomed. So this is the other side of the woodland area, like I say, things are taking off. That's going to look much better now. See that? That's rabbits. In actual fact, when I sorted out the bank down here, I've got a lot of lilies coming up. And when I looked, a lot of them were chewed off. They're just popping through the ground. Not eaten, just chewed off at the stem. to mark territory, that's rabbits, and that is very annoying because those lilies probably won't flower this year, and I'm not happy about that. So yeah, this is all looking great now. It's really taken off, and I'm really pleased with how it's coming on. This is Montbretia. I know it spreads like crazy. I'll keep it in check. Right now I'm just grateful for anything that'll grow behind here. So Solomon Seal, nice patch of Solomon Seal. That was a very small bit that I put in, and that's taken off great. The Brunnera, I love these. I love them. I've only got the 2 behind here, and I'd like to get some more. So yeah, so another area that's going to need attention is the back of this bank. So where this, where is it, the anemone, Chinese anemone has grown, you know, forward, I need to put some plantings along the top here. But I see the woodland violet is coming over the top. I'm happy for that to spread this way. If this whole bank is covered in woodland violets, I'm more than happy. I'm just going to have what can grow there. I'm not going to battle nature. There's just absolutely no point, because I'm not going to win. It will be a costly exercise, and what's the point? So I'm going to, you know, see what I can do about that. I'm probably going to take this whole thing out here. I'm not too keen on that, so I'll rip that out at some point, or my husband will for me, bless him. And yeah, so now the decision's been made. We're staying. I'm very happy about it, and yeah, and you know, it's so peaceful here. It's quiet. We're not living on a main road, you know, apart from one of my neighbours. I mean, there's a story to be told there, but I won't because it's on my other channel. Everybody around here is great. The neighbours down the road are fantastic. You know, it's like here, look, see that? Has that been chewed? Or is it just falling over the weight? Oh, I think it's just falling over with the weight of the water. That's fine. I would have been upset. These are just popping through, which is great. My one and only trillium back there, very precious, that one. And the other trillium. So I'll just go around there, turn the watering off so we can have a look. We are set to get a little bit of rain tomorrow, but I don't think it's going to be enough to really water these plants properly. So trilliums are all doing well, and the hostas are coming out. Everything is early. I remember last year I had the trilliums up, and I think they were dying back before any of the hostas were coming through. You know, so things have definitely earlier this year. So pleased about that. And coming around here, John, my husband, has trimmed all the jasmine back for us, because that was taking over the path. He's also trimmed all this area back because that was taking over the path. This is a, I do know the name of this. It's an Australian plant, and it is in a little urn. You can see the urn. And it's gone massive, absolutely massive. So, you know, I may take that out of there eventually and put it in the garden somewhere, because it seems to be, because it can be frost tender, but it just seems to do all right here. So it must be extremely pot bound. So yeah, I need to get that in the ground somewhere. Acers are coming away great. Oh, look at that, look, the chickens are making a noise. I think that's my husband arriving, actually. So we're back to the pond. Let's just get up here. So the fish they won't be that side. See them? They're all this side bathing in the sun. So I've yet to get in the pond. I'm hoping to do that this Sunday, provided the weather's good. I'll get in there and give that a good tidy, and I will film it. Somebody's asked me if I can film what I do in the pond when I get in it, and so I will do that. So very rusty heron. I don't think he does the job. We did have to take down the heron tape that was going around because it was broken. We've left the standards in, so we do need to replace that at some point. So, got some peonies, that's orchid peonies coming up, so they're coming away nicely. The daylilies, and that, can you see that? white sort of bauble of mock orange, I think it is. It smells absolutely gorgeous. I can smell that as I'm stood here, and I'm a good distance away from it. So here we are. Can you imagine just the actual logistics of having to move that lot in there? That's what I was getting panicked about. I just thought, I can't do this. Although, the plan is to put them in the shade house down there for the summer. That's great, but I've got to find somewhere to put that. I had to find a property big enough, and it was really difficult. So, yeah, no, we ain't doing it. Anyway, just go over to this bit, show you this, and then I'll sign off. So this is taking off really well. The spirea is looking gorgeous. The hydrangeas are looking good. They only get afternoon sun, so they can handle it because they're the white ones. And the daffodils are going over now. I love daffodils, but I don't like it when they go over like that. They look really scruffy, and you're not supposed to tie them down or anything. You are just supposed to wait for them to go yellow and fall off. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please like or dislike and subscribe, and I'll catch you later. Bye for now.